Welcome back to episode 4 of our little Mix It special. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, go ahead and do so, because we already showed you how we recorded and mixed all the instruments so far. Today we're talking about vocals.
Again and then again, it gives you yet another reason to give it everything you have and leaves you wondering if you'll maybe get it.
Okay, vocals for my favorite season, the song we did with t.bone. Let's have a look. This is the main vocal as it came in. We recorded it through a CL1A compressor, so there's a bit of compression going on the way in already. Let's have a look at the chain, starting out with the de-esser, Pro DS. Just doing a few dB of gain reduction on the S's and sibilants. Next up is some auto-tune, which is still already on there. So isolate the main. Some EQ, just like a low card, and some more sibilance control up there. An LA2A next, just doing 1 or 2 dB of gain reduction, not too much. The main compression squeeze happens in parallel. We'll get to that later. Afterwards, just some more de-essing, Soothe, doing its job there. Very good plugin. Pultec EQ afterwards, which, as you can see, it doesn't do anything right now. I just like to have it on there. It's like on my stock vocal chain. So sometimes you have a singer that's super bassy, then you can attenuate just a bit there, just to balance it out with all the other vocals and the other instruments in the track. It's good to have on there. Okay, lastly some more Pro Q, dipping a bit of the nasally boxy mid-range and giving us a bit more presence, 2K. And last thing in the chain is the Pro C, which, as you can see, has a sidechain input. Let's see what it does. It's basically just another de-esser, I can already tell. And the trick is that I bounce the entire main vocal down to this track down here, which acts as my sidechain trigger for this compressor. And on this track where I bounced the entire main vocal into, I have a Pro Q which isolates this frequency range for all the harshness happens. So whenever some harsh sounds happen in the main vocal, they get isolated by this thing, and they act as a trigger for this compressor, which turns down the main vocal whenever something harsh happens. So it retains a natural sound, but just doesn't cut your head off. Because sometimes regular de-essers tend to when you use heavy settings, turn the main vocal or turn the vocal into some kind of unnatural sounding SE thing. I don't like that, and this is a good way of dealing with that. Okay, let's have a look at the sends. First up, reverbs. I have a short room, which sounds like this. Just very short vocal reflections. And we have a short plate, which sounds like this. And we have a longer, hall reverb, which just gets de-essed. We don't want the S's to be ringing out in the reverb. And it hits the Valhalla, 1.8 seconds. And afterwards it's another Pro C, which also is sidechained by the main vocal. So whenever the main vocal's coming in, the reverb gets turned down a bit so it doesn't get in the way. Yeah, those are all the reverbs. And we have 2 delays. One is this close delay, which is a really quick ping pong, just super cut to the mid-range. It only happens on the side channels. And we have a long delay, an 8th note delay, which also hits the plate reverb. And afterwards, well, not afterwards, but parallel, we have 2 channels of parallel compression. One is just the regular, Andrew Shepp's kind of trick, where you isolate the presence area of the vocal with 2 shelves, then you compress this really heavily, and then you turn everything else up again. So you have a super present vocal that you can add in with the regular main. Just keep it up front all the time. And there's this air compression, which is also just a parallel compression where I just isolated the air band with a really heavy EQ there and compressed it with OTT like super heavily. A bit of de-essing so it doesn't get too harsh, and add that in with the main vocal and the other parallel compression track. You get this lush and wide and reverby vocal which still is present all the time. Yeah, so that's the processing for the main vocal, and also the processing for all the other vocal tracks. There's just minor differences there. For example, for the dubs, which are just like unison doubles, we have this exact same chain, plus a bit more saturation, and some microshift, which just widens it. For the backings, these two like backing vocals, same chain again, this time minus the microshift, just panned further to the left and the right. Bit more reverb on the send there, or a bit more send on the reverb there. And then we have this pedal, which is just like a fifth in the key of the song, which is yet again the exact same chain. Gets summed together on this bus, and there's this like Mellotron lo-fi plugin, which just like distorts it a bit and makes it a bit more, yeah, mellow. And afterwards, this like 1 second room reverb, so fairly high mix. So just put it behind all the other vocals. Yeah, you add this in with all the other vocals, get this thick stack, which sounds rather nice, if you ask me. And lastly, we have some ad-libs, which yet again share all the chain we already talked about, and just have like certain things added to them. For example, these ad-libs have an Echo Boy Jr. 100% wet, 0 seconds, so it's just like doing this telephony thing on the Memory Boy mode. This next one is, as you can already hear, just super wet. It has a little blade on it, on 100% wet. I wanna be your spit, I wanna stay out late. These ones are super distorted, so we have a decapitator on there, and one has like this tape slap, so it widens it out. And this one in the end combines two, so it's like a bit distorted. It has a bit of an Echo Boy like color boxy thing and a bit of plate reverb. So that's the entire processing and all the vocal tracks we have on this song. I hope you like it. See you next time. Shows you all that you could have and makes you try your best again and then again.